Hi friends, this is Tina Zink, the Serene Stamper. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm happy to bring another video for you today. And this video features a technique called the Emboss Foreground technique. So it's not a super common technique, but it's really easy and it's just something fun that I thought I'd share with you. The stamp set I'm using for this card is called Colorful Seasons, and I am going to use the maple leaf and the flowers. So to start, I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this measures 3 by 3 3/4. So the colors I'm going to be using for today's card are Peekaboo Peach, Fresh Fig, and Old Olive. So I'm going to start with my Old Olive and put my stamp on my block. I have my foam pad underneath. Okay, and I have a piece of scrap paper too, so that I don't get ink on my pad. So I'm just going to push that down and just stamp it randomly. Actually, I think that's enough, because I will use the smaller leaf as well. Put on the smaller maple leaf. Okay. Now moving on to the Peekaboo Peach, and I'm going to stamp a flower. So I'll start with this one right here. So you're just basically creating a background, and I actually don't want too many that dark, so I'm going to do 3 and then stamp off and then stamp again, stamp off, stamp again, just to get it a little bit lighter. And don't worry about overlapping when you're doing this technique. It's all good. Now I'm taking my Fresh Fig, and now I'm taking my big maple leaf again, but this time I'm going to ink it with my Versamark first, because we're going to do some embossing. So I'm going to rub this with the embossing buddy so that I don't get powder where I don't want it. I've got Versamark on this stamp, and now I'm inking it with my Fresh Fig, and I'm just going to stamp right on top. I'm going to clean my stamp. You want to make sure your stamp is clean before you go into your Versamark. Ink it again. Go back into the Fresh Fig. And I got a smudge mark there, so guess what? I'm putting a maple leaf on that to cover it. Push down, nice and firm. Clean it, and I'm going to do one more. Versamark, Fresh Fig. Okay. Now I'm taking my clear embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle that on, and it will stick to those Fresh Fig leaves. And a little bit there. There we go. I'm going to zap it with the heat tool. So now we have those embossed leaves on top of that previous stamping that we did. So that is known as the Embossed Foreground technique. Okay, now I'm taking my Timeless Textures, and I'm going to use this stamp right here. And I'm also going to stamp this with the Fresh Fig. I'm going to stamp off, I think, just to kind of fill in those spots. There we go. Okay, I have a piece of basic black cardstock, and this measures 3 1/4 by 4. So this is going to get matted right on top of that. Okay. My card base is Fresh Fake, and this measures 5.5 by 4.25 when it's closed. And I'm taking some old olive ribbon, and I'm going to put some snail right across the center. Put that right down, like that. And then go across the inside. Trim that up. Now I'm just taking my stapler and I'm going to put 2 staples on. And that'll secure it. That goes right on the front. Just like that. And while this stamp set has many lovely expressions, I want to use the lovely wishes, wishing you a lovely day. So I've got a scrap piece of paper here, so I'm just going to take that. Taking my black Memento ink. Punching that out with my 1 3/8 inch circle punch. And I've decided I want to add some color to this, so I'm actually going to take my old olive again. Ink that up and stamp it right on top. Like that. I'm going to stamp off twice. And then just stamp a couple flowers. Okay, so there's my sentiment. Now I'm taking my 1.5 inch circle punch, punching that out. Piece of paper for the inside. This is just computer paper. It's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And there's my card. And it looks so pretty having that glossy image on top. I'll show you a couple more that I made the other day. So this one was using vintage leaves. And I think that one's from the sentiments from Great Big Thanks. And then I just stamped the inside. And then this one was using Garden and Bloom. And the Berry Burst flowers are the ones that have been embossed. Here it's the Emerald MV leaves that I embossed. So there you go, another fun technique for you to try with your stamps and inks. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate you. Happy stamping!